everyone, it's Kristen Redman, and today we're going to go over the planetary aspects that are surrounding us and affecting us this week, March 21st through the 27th. And there's a lot going on this week, too, let me tell you. So, where we're starting out with is today, actually on the 20th, the sun has transited from the deep feeling and deeply intuitive sign of Pisces into a fire sign of Aries, okay? And Aries is the very beginning of the Zodiac wheel. And what it represents is like a new year, but it represents the springtime. It represents renewal and rebirth. And Pisces, of course, is the very last sign in the Zodiac. So that's when we kind of go within to our subconscious and purge the things that we really don't need, okay? It's a time when we have a lot of dreams, a lot of things that are pushed back in our subconscious and way back in our mind that we don't want to deal with. Those things come to the surface, and a lot of times they come as dreams for us to deal with and recognize, bring it to the light of day, and then it helps us when we can actually recognize them, feel the emotions that they bring, and process it instead of trying to repress those dreams. So when the sun transits through that sign and we've had an opportunity to kind of do that introspection and that thinking, now it's time for action. It's time to look for the renewal and the rebirth from that purging, I guess you could say. So here we are in Aries now, and it's like the springtime, and we just like welcoming in the sun and the new air. It's the same for us too. We're breathing that fresh life into our lives. Aries represents developing self-awareness, bringing focus and attention to the self, what it is that you want to do. And it also focuses on using your putting action into what it is that you want, but it's focused on your desires, not really necessarily the ones of other people around you. So it's a good time to initiate those new beginnings that you want and lead the charge on your own. Don't let anybody else do it. That's what Aries represents. It's also a time when because it also represents like I said, the first house of the Zodiac is where Aries is at. That represents the self and the outward appearance. This may be a time when you're really focused on really committing to an exercise program or bettering your health. Of course, it's a fantastic time to do that because we all want to look good in our bikinis for the summer anyway. So now it's like you got to really get on board if you want to get that under your belt, before the summertime. But it's also a symbolic time for that also, because it's a time to regenerate how you look outwardly to the world. So that's what Aries brings for us. That's the energy that we have, where our sun is shining that light right now. So that happens today. Of course, that's going to be in until mid-May when we go into Taurus, but that's where our focus is going to be for now. Okay. Now, another thing that's going to be happening this week is Mercury is also going to be transiting into the sign of Aries, okay? And like I said, Aries is all about initiation. It's about charging through and getting done what you want to do. So when Mercury, that planet of thought and communication, goes into that, our mental process really speeds up. Our thoughts are sharp and quick, and we tend to make sharp and drastic decisions. Because that's what fire signs do. They really kind of act on their heart, and a lot of times that's what we'll do when Mercury goes into a fire sign, is we'll tend to make really snap and rash decisions. But the good thing is the answers will come quicker to us also. So even though you may be pushed to do something, there is a reason behind it. So that gives you a confidence with your intellectual self, and the decisions that you make. So that's going to be happening on the 21st, and then we've got a lot that's going to be happening on Wednesday, the 23rd. Mercury, that planet, as it's in the new sign of Aries, okay, where it's all about really acting. Our thoughts are really focused and into the action as to what it is we want to do to make our life new for the spring. What happens with that is it goes conjunct, or it aligns with the sun on Wednesday. And what that brings, anytime this happens, it happens 4 times a year, but what this is going to do is really stimulate the mental process even more so, okay? It's going to be a real major push. What is it I need to do to make these changes? Or it may actually push you into doing that, actually putting your feet in motion, put those wheels in motion to get things done. And forge that path for what you want the rest of this year to bring. It's not about sitting around and thinking anymore about what it is you want. We really want to move ahead. And it's interesting, like I've brought it up a couple of times now, how Aries represents the spring and the renewal and the rebirth. It's even more fitting because we have had so much time to reflect and introspect and think what it is we want. And there's been so much change that has happened for everybody since 2012, because we've had these really strong squares between the planets of Pluto and Uranus. And if you haven't watched my video on what this new year is going to bring, this is a major thing, okay? When Pluto, the planet of death and transformation, squares off with Uranus, the planet of unexpected things, we experience a series of unexpected losses, a lot of drastic changes that force us to transform into a new reality, okay? And we had one right after the other, after the other, after the other, from 2012 up until September of last year. So all of these major things that have changed, they ended in September, and it's like the end is done. We don't have to worry about that anymore. But then it was a process of dumping all of that loss and pain from the subconscious and focusing on what is it that I do want for the coming year, okay? Now, all that snow has melted away, right? The sun in Aries has melted all that away, and now it's the time for the new growth to emerge. Now is the time to no longer hearken the past. It's time to really get moving forward. So Wednesday, you're really going to feel that push. You're going to realize all of that pain I was holding subconsciously feels like it has gone with the snow. It's melted into the earth. I'm giving it back to the earth, and I'm ready for my new phase. And it's a wonderful time for that to happen, because on Wednesday, we are also going to be having the Libra Full Moon, but it's also the lunar eclipse, okay? And what that represents is new beginnings and the blessings that come from it. It's like you're almost getting a pass from the universe saying, hey, you've put into the world what it is that you want. You've put it out to the universe. This is what I need, and I want this to change, and I want that to be different. And the list goes on and on, right? Now is the time, as Libra represents those scales, it brings balance to that for us, okay? So we're going to be really feeling that starting Wednesday. You will really start to see the scales really starting to tip into your favor. If you've really been good about working on what it is you need to dump, what you need to leave behind, and focus on what it is you want for the future in the coming year, this is going to be a time when those blessings come to you. The answers will come to you in your dreams, in your waking life. Pay attention to those signs, right? Because they will come to you. In Aries, the archangel for Aries is Ariel, the angel that helps you manifest anything you want. So that is also on your side too, as those blessings can come through on Wednesday. It's a time for, when you think of it, okay, let's look at it in these terms, okay? You've got what a lunar eclipse represents is when the earth, okay, comes between the sun and the moon, directly between it. So that's how we get that, the eclipse that happens. And when you look at it in a spiritual sense, the earth represents us, our body, our self, okay? The sun represents our motivation, our passion, our goal in life, our purpose for being. And the moon represents our inner self, our emotions, and our intuition, okay? Right now, our logical self, our body, is coming in between those two, okay? So really now is the time to focus on the self. It's really a good time to focus on what blessings that you really want to happen. And the more you put it out there, and the more you work with Archangel Ariel to manifest what it is you want, it'll come through. It really, truly will. God doesn't put us here to suffer, right? It's not about that. It's about lessons, right? And an interesting thing with that is Saturn is the planet of lessons. It's the planet of self-discipline, structure, order. And that planet is going to be going retrograde on Friday, Good Friday, the 25th. Okay. And when Saturn goes into retrograde, it's a time when we really become more disciplined. We become focused. Um, we want to take that time to really restructure the boundaries that are around us. So it's going to be a really good time if you are focused on bettering your health, bettering your body, improving your life. Having Saturn retrograde at that time is really going to give you that willpower that you need to make it happen and to stick with it, okay? Um, Saturn is in the sign of Sagittarius now. Sagittarius represents our philosophical views, our religious order, um, higher education. So this, you may find that while Saturn is retrograde from the 25th until August, that you're going to be focused on maybe going back to school, that you're going to be focused on maybe restructuring your views on the, what's the word I'm looking for? Not method of religion, but like denomination. Maybe you're looking into going to a different church. Maybe you're thinking, because this is also a time when people even will go a dramatic change. Maybe they'll go from having a Christian look into being a little more open and being looking into the Buddhist faith or the Muslim faith, or just those things that make those up, and how you can combine that and meld that with your Christian beliefs, and just focusing on the fact that it's all really just one God, right? No matter what it is, there's one divine presence that is the thread that combines and connects every one of us, okay? And that's one thing to really focus on, even as we come into Easter time, that thread that goes through us all, it goes through our heart center, and that's how we all connect, is by a universal love, okay? And like I said, we have Easter that's going to be happening on Sunday, okay? And with all of this universal energy, it's amazing when you think of how cosmically Easter plays a major role in that as well. It's not just a religious holiday, okay? It's amazing. When I did my research here for, what I was going to say for the week, I came across something that Easter is actually a lunar-based holiday. It goes from, it starts with, it falls on the first Sunday after the full moon, which we know the full moon for us is on Wednesday, right? After the spring equinox. And how interesting is that? Like, you think Christians always believe that, mysticism and astrology and things like that were just not very good, and it's not very Christian-like. But it's amazing that the holiday that supports Christianity, Easter, is based on the calculations of the lunar calendar. Remember, the moon, it represents our inner self, our emotions, our capacity for love. Okay, that's where it comes from, in that moon. And so on Easter, the moon is going to be actually in Sagittarius. That what I was just talking about with Saturn, where it's going to be at here, where it's going to be stationed for a good portion of the rest of the year. That means that our emotions at Easter time are really going to be focused on our religious self, and it's not just an ironic type of thing. It really is a time when we can sit back and look at the cosmic order of it. What does Easter mean? It's that rebirth for every one of us, right? Through the death of Jesus Christ, right? We all are saved because of the sacrifice that he made for all of us. So technically, Easter is a rebirth for everyone. Just like Aries is a rebirth for the Zodiac wheel for all of us as well. It's a chance to shake off the old sins and the old self and focus on what you will do moving forward for the coming year. Okay? And I feel like I'll probably do a blog post about this a little bit more in detail this week, because there's such an amazing connection between the death of Jesus and the cosmic order and gift that we have through following the patterns of our sun and our moon and the stars and the planets, the energy that it gives us and the answers that it really does bring to us. God doesn't just send us out here with nothing, you know what I mean? It really makes you realize that he's given us kind of a little bit of a roadmap and a little bit of a heads up on the things to come. So this week, as you can see, there's a lot that's going on. We've got a lot of energy. But it's a really wonderful energy. It's time to let that sunshine in, and that's why I wanted to come out here today to do this, to do my reading, and just kind of start soaking up that sunshine for the coming spring season, which is my favorite. Easter is my favorite holiday. So, okay, so let's do our reading, kind of pull it all together for the week. Got my stones here, so let's see what angel is working with us, what energy is working with us. Oh man, that one just kind of like vibrated my finger here. So let's here we go. Metatron. Metatron, why would he be working with us? Okay, this is for the Archangel Metatron. This is a watermelon tourmaline, is actually what this is. And Metatron is the angel that helps with kind of access, like our esoteric self, our like our divine connection. He helps us with that. But he's also the Archangel that helps with children that are highly sensitive. The indigo children, as they call them. I'm trying to, okay, maybe I need to pull the cards here to see exactly what it is he necessarily wants to tell us for the week, but it's cool to have him with us because he's an amazing angel. He helps clear our chakras. Maybe that's it, because he has his little cube, okay? And all you have to do when you want your chakras to be cleansed like that, you ask for him to spin his Metatron's cube over every one of your chakras, and that helps clear your energy centers so you can really let that life force energy flow, the Kundalini energy, so it can flow freely and kind of bring about the passion that's internally inside of you so you can follow your life mission. Maybe that's what he's doing. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's ask him what he has for us for the coming week. So I'm going to do 4 because 4 represents stability and structure and limitations. And so it's, I don't know why I feel like it's what I need to, but we're going to do that one. Especially talking with Saturn going retrograde and helping us to really focus on restructuring ourselves for this coming spring to get things done. So 3, wow, it's like, oof, push that dude back in there. Hey, okay. One more here. Yeah. Okay, so my camera keeps dying on me here. So what I'm going to do, because that just kind of like really threw my energy off, I am going to shuffle again here and just kind of get that energy back here as to what it is Metatron wants for us for this coming week. How he's helping us to move forward with the correct energy for this coming spring. So what it is the Page of Fire. Now this card represents a messenger. So I'm going to pull another card here just to double check and see what it is that message may very well be. But usually with the Page of Fire, that indicates message coming through to you about a new job, a new exciting adventure that's coming your way. The actual wording that it says is news of an exciting new endeavor. I'm sorry, not adventure. And that it's going to be a very wonderful creative time for you because fire represents our creation, our ability to create things, but it also represents our physical working self and pursuing our life purpose. Okay, so this could be somebody's getting a new job that's watching this here. Okay, well, let's see what else we have here. Wow, and then we've got the Queen of Fire, who is, of course, it's interesting because these are the 2 women in the deck. So hold on, let me pull this together here. The 2 female energies asserting the female energy. Springtime is what I feel. I feel like they're saying that obviously it's a woman who's obviously going to be getting a job, getting a news of a promotion that's coming up for this week. But it also represents that divine feminine power of knowing what it is we need to do and actually mixing that and melding that with the divine masculine energy of acting on that. We know what it is we want, then do it, okay? The exact wording of this is stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself and assert your independence and your creativity. And Aries is all about that independence and that creativity. Like I said, Ariel is the angel for Aries, and she helps us to assert our independence and our creativity. She helps us to manifest what it is we want. Um, so I feel like what the message is with all of this here, we have Metatron telling us that he is going to be there to help cleanse us, our system of all that old gunk that's in there. Ask for him to take that cube this week to cleanse your centers, help to recenter you, renew you, and this Easter, look at it in that light, that not only did Jesus die to help reinvent us, to help us forgive our sins so we can be new people, it's also that time that we take that gift and we act on it. So I think it's a wonderful sign that there's wonderful things to come, but it all comes with the fire that pushes you to do it. Okay, get those wheels moving, get it in motion, and everybody have a blessed Easter, and I will talk to you next week.